Hi, this is Annette Kinship from LOCO'Motion exercise programs. We're going to begin with yoga. Before we actually do any exercise together, I want to talk to you about fitness and you, who you are, what fitness is to you, and what fitnesses might be available to you. Here we have a form of fitness that is used called Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, creating a structure for the body that allows for good movement and stronger structure. You may be a little dismayed by some of these poses because you don't feel like you can do them or could ever. That is okay. There's still a structure that you can formula from the ingredients, so to speak, of yoga poses or yoga stretches that you could discipline yourself to and feel better and get a better structure in your body. Here I want to talk about heart health. Many people, they can garden and keep their heart rate going and keep their blood moving and get that discipline in the exercise. Sometimes people stress themselves out doing it, but you can become very strong and stay healthy in light of gardening. Some people climb mountains and cliffs. Some people climb inside of buildings that have rock climbing. Some people dance. Some people run. And some people do an aerobic exercise in a club. It doesn't really matter which one you do, but it does matter that we take on something and keep that heartbeat going. For me, the excitement is in the adrenaline completion, the true ecstasy and feeling good. This is a photo of feeling great. Life is in the breath, taking in the oxygen. In yoga, we can learn more about how to breathe and get the body to respond, along with having the heart and the lungs working more efficiently. Often you hear today people saying in movies and in song, like the song, "Just breathe." We want to take that seriously because that is a really important and good instruction. Just breathe. Take the time to just breathe. We are going to talk about breathing in all of these series. We are going to get in depth on that. What is fitness? What level, what degree are you wanting fitness? What is it in your mind? What are you able, willing, and want to do? Answer for yourself why you want to do it. What are you willing to do after you analyze that? Fitness of aerobic, yoga, weights, biking, running, walking, or on a job, if you work hard and you handle yourself properly during that job, if it's a lifting job, you could actually be structurally improving your body, or you could be stressing it out depending on how you're handling it and what you're doing. Think through what are your desires for yourself, and then you work with you as you listen to me teach things like yoga, for example. Remembering your thoughts with your actions, helping you not to worry about doing it like your neighbor or whoever else is in the class with you or the person you see on the screen. Where are you in your body and in your structure? Where do you need to start to get stronger? Think about, can you do yoga? Most people can. Most people can at least do some basics and really structurally change their body. Don't get hung up on she or he being intimidating, that you would be embarrassed. If you have an injury and cannot bend, let's see what you can do. Let's take you somewhere where you can still stay structurally stronger or even correct or at least learn to work with that injury. And then we'll talk about where do you start? And you think through, where can you start? Through what I teach you. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. This is just the beginning, an intro to who I am and what is available to you. And I'm going to start with yoga. Are you overweight? Do you feel inflexible? Think that through as you listen and as you learn more things. Yoga, like many exercises, help and improve range of motion, give you strength, and lengthen your muscles and the tendons and the many things that can get bound up and pull the bone structure too close together. Added benefits are your bones and joints get released from each other so they're not pressing down on each other. Skin and health can be obtained because of better movement of the blood. Your other organs, of course, are going to respond. Muscles, ligaments, tendons, and cartilage all get a little bit of action and fluid flow, lifting them out of their sedimentary state or building up from wherever you are. You can get lymph drainage from it because the body is active and is moving all the tubular structure within inside it. And your heart health, of course, we talk blood circulation, can absolutely improve. Now let's get down to some serious business. This is me at age 50. Felt very age defiant. Not that I hadn't gone up and down in my weight or my health, but because I began at age 12 and I had an active childhood, it was a little easier for me to come back when I would get unstructured. Then, just after those pictures you just saw, trauma happened in my life. We won't go into details about that because that would cause tears from me. Now, 60 extra pounds at 60 years of age. Who am I to be teaching you? 41 years ago, I began teaching fitness in a fitness club after all my school years of those sports that I did. Since then, I have birthed 7 children, became a single mom, worked several home businesses and outside the home to care for them. One of those was fitness. I taught yoga, Pilates, aerobics, as well as step aerobics and water aerobics. I've taught tone and conditioning and many other names that have been in the clubs or on my own. I worked in the clubs, I worked for myself in rented spaces and out of my home. Some of the sports that I took when I was young were basketball, synchronized swim, and competition swimming, track, high jump, running, shot put, disc, and long jump, field hockey, tennis, volleyball, and other. There were many things that helped keep me fit as in my youth, and so maybe you didn't have a lot of that, maybe that wasn't your habit, but you do need the exercise now, so yoga is a good place to start because yoga, in essence, the basics are stretching and lengthening and creating the structure and opening up the joints as you build the strength, okay? So here's me at age 60 with that 60 extra pounds on me. I'm not happy with it. What happened to my yoga body? So taking care of my body and keeping my weight where I like it has needed creativity. And here I am now. I'm going to take you with me to try to lose that weight and get structurally fit and sound again, hoping to take me back to my yoga body as I teach you how to be healthy also. Most important thing is to keep moving and keep that synovial fluid getting into the joint. When I move at this time, some of my body is in the way because of those extra pounds. Yet, it is important to keep on keeping on. What do we need for our full health? We need food, which is nutrients. We need water, which is minerals and hydration. We need our breath life, which is the oxygen in the air. We need thought, food for the mind to develop and keep from depression and oppression. We need good thought. We need emotional triumph, our hearts satisfied with love. We need that energy they call spirit or chi or ether. Of course, food energy is another word for energy we get from the nutrients and etc. But we're going to talk about all of these things at some point today. We're going to talk about movement, the exercise of the body, which this video that's going to be added to this PowerPoint is the beginning of my hope to inspire you to exercise or to continue to exercise and or trust yourself to keep going. Life's fusion of integration of thought and joining nature with the life trials, bringing the body together with the heart and the mind and the spirit and the physical things that we need for the body, and getting them to all kind of interlock together so that we can have a better life and a healthier life is what I think that yoga has to offer as one of those things to fuse together with the others. What is yoga in my thinking and in my thoughts, and what has kept me going in the practice and wanting to instruct it? Well, it's that it satisfies me and it seems to give me that completeness of the physical body. I do Pilates and I do many other things, but yoga has its own benefits that outweigh not doing it. Okay? So maybe you can join me on this. Infinity. Remember what that is and what you learned in school and how cool that was to see that line that it would continue on forever? Well, we can go the distance with what we know. We go the distance in what we know. What is timeless? Timeless is right now, paying attention to now, and there is no time. That line continues on forever. Living long, what is that? Living long healthy, the quality of life. In this photo here are my mother and father and a sister. My mother is in there in 2 places. My father is 87 in the picture. He has now passed on, but he was one of those healthy people. One time I went to visit him in his 80s, or a few times, but he was sitting in his chair with his 1-pound weights in his hand and showing off how he could exercise with them and how determined he was to keep going and keep being alive and well and doing the things that need to be done to do that. My mother in that same picture was 88 at the time, definitely just as strong. To me, neither one of them looked like their ages. And now my mother is 94 years old. She still keeps going. I don't mean she doesn't get tiredness. I don't mean she doesn't go through some things. But you know what? She just painted 3 pieces of pumpkins and put them together and stacked them like it was a person, you know, like a snowman, but a pumpkin snowman. And she just goes and goes and goes. She might have a bad night or a rough night, and yet she still gets up and she handles her life and she still does things. She's not waiting to die. She's living to live. And there's my sister at 72. Does she look 72? No, she does not. She may have done more gardening, but she was my inspiration to work out as a child because she used to do leg lifts and things like that in front of me on the floor, and she was one of my inspirations to exercise. Getting fit and staying fit, I get it's not so easy. I really get it. I'm here in hope to help you find your way through feeling better with food, with working out, giving you hope and encouragement to help you find a new path, a new plan with new hope, renewed thoughts, and that equals new you. This is Yoga Beginnings with LOCO'Motion. The video ahead is the start of many other videos to come of thought, heart, water, breath, food, and the presence to now.
Hi, I'm Annette, and I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about yoga. This is my property, or our property. We hang out here near this tree, and we do have yoga classes on this concrete slab that we're on right now. I wanted to take you and anybody out there that would like to be exposed to some basic rules of work in the body. We're going to talk about the structure of the body, the bones, the way they meet together, and all those things. You may already know much of this, but we're going to talk about it and share how the muscle content and how maybe injury or anything that's happened in your life, or just not being able to exercise, or maybe you work real hard but you do some exercise that's not stretching and you might need the stretching. So today it's about yoga. I'm going to talk to you a lot about different types of fitness and different strengths. I've been teaching for probably almost 40 years, maybe a little longer, and I love aerobics and tone and conditioning and all the things that are available out there. I just thought I'd give out my little take on some of it, especially yoga, and we'll start with that today. We're not going to do a whole class right this second. This is just an introductory to who I am and what I might be able to be for you or for others you know. We want to talk about the structure of the body, talking about where you would plant your feet in just a mountain pose. We stand up straight and tall. Our feet are directly under the hip bone, so you want to think about that. You don't want your feet turned out at this point. If we're in a mountain pose or anything, just starting out, like a basic rule, feet underneath the hip bone. Some people put their feet in, some people pull it out a little bit. You want to try to look at that hip bone and bring it directly underneath. So that's how I'm going to be teaching, and lining up the hip and thinking about your spine being perfectly straight up and down, even if you have some kyphosis or lordosis or any of those scoliosis or anything. You want to picture your spine straight up and down so that when you're doing the yoga stretches and the moves, maybe we can line up some of that just as well as we can line up some of the shoulders. If you have a frozen shoulder, we can pull it around and we can work on it. Just like massaging the muscles and moving them around can help. When we stretch the muscles, especially in a yoga style class, we're stretching to open up the joints. We're stretching, we're loosening up the joints. We're trying to get the ankle to move better. And again, if you have any injuries or past injuries and you have get sore sometimes when you're working out, you can wear braces. They're not that expensive at Walmart or drugstores. You can get something that just wraps and velcros around for your time that you're working out. You do want to protect your bones and your joints when you're working out, as well as you want to be strengthening the muscles to fix or heal the joints. So you want to remember that while you're working out, it's okay to wear something to bind it a little bit. Say if it's a knee, just bind it a little bit while you're working out. So as you bending or maybe doing squats, or maybe you just can't do squats or have been told you shouldn't, we're going to talk about as much as I can remember to think about and talk about, and hopefully have some comment sections for you to join in on. Right now we're just going to do some YouTube videos on how to handle yourself when you do an exercise, how to move around, and how to pay attention to your strengths and your weaknesses, especially because I'm not going to be there with you personally, so you have to listen really closely. There's things like I said about the feet being directly underneath the hip joint, and then we're going to bring the hips forward because we don't want to be having the bone structures, the vertebrae, here's your vertebrae, landing so tight on each other by standing in an arch while we're trying to do mountain pose. You want to squeeze those big cheeks, these here, you want to squeeze them and bring your hips forward. Then you lift your arms up and you reach for the sky. You reach high. We're going to interlock our thumbs. In a class, they don't always interlock the thumbs, but we're going to do that, and we're going to lift up and we're going to pull the shoulder blades together as we bring the arm towards the ear. Now, if you have a frozen shoulder or some kind of a thing on one shoulder or both shoulders, you might have to only go to here, but you still want to be pulling these muscles and the bone structure back here. You want to lift as high as you can. If this is all you got, you still bring the shoulder blades towards each other, but try, just go up as high as you can. Don't overstress, don't ever overstrain, but work towards the lengthening, the strengthening, and conditioning of the body. And we want to hold. And when you hold, your holding allows the tendons and the ligaments and the muscles to all work their way around to coming around to what you want them to do. And again, if you're here, this is more than you've been doing. If you've only been doing this and never reached up, or you're not reaching up enough, you begin here and you just work your way in 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch. Eventually, if there's no steel bars in your, that you've had surgery and got any of that going on, you might be able to get really close to changing the ligaments and the muscles and the tendons to get the bone structure to shift, so you have more freedom and more power in your movement. We're going to take our hands back down. We keep our shoulders back, we keep our hips scooped forward, and we put our hands together. Palms together, calling it prayer pose as they do. It's like a pause. It's like you did this nice, strong, vibrant holding, strong, hips are scooped forward, and then you come down on an exhale, palms together, and pause. Even if you're going to go right into the next move, this little 1/2 second pause, 3-second pause, 8-second pause is crucial. You take it, it helps you realign, rethink your body, know where your feet are, know where your arms are, know where your hands are. Again, here, let's take it up. Mountain pose. Deep breath in, hold, shoulder blades are coming together, you squeeze your big cheeks. Deep breath in, on an exhale, prayer pose. Exhale slowly, pause. We have lots more like that. Stretches to the side, stretches to the other side, going down and opening up the hips, opening up the shoulder joints, hips, ankles, elbows. We want to open it all up. Let's just do one more. We're going to reach again. Our thumbs are together. That just helps, the interlocking helps you pull those upper arms towards the ears. Over here, you're not getting the same benefit. Yes, this is good, but the little bit more lengthening is by interlocking. Okay, here we go. We're going to turn our fingertips towards each other, press our palms to the sky. Deep breath in, and we're going to open up. Wrists stay bent, slowly keeping the shoulders back, hips are scooped forward, no arch in the back. Keep the palms towards the earth, wrists are bent. You might feel tingling in your fingertips or through the fingers. You want to bring it down. And again, exhale out and come to prayer pose. Pause. We will do full classes. We will have partial classes. I'll just do warrior pose 2. Only warrior pose 2 from left to right. Only warrior pose 1 from left to right. We'll do triangle poses, and we're going to really work on that, perfecting and holding and really getting your body to change with it. And there's always modifications. There's always a position, a space to go that's doing it right in a modification, and there's compromise. So we'll talk about the compromises, how they don't really change the body. They're still working out the body in some ways, but they're not really changing, say, a joint, the need for a joint to change. We do, again, want to recommend if you need wristbands when you're doing work, downward dogs or anything like that, you want to wear that wristband. If you need an ankle band or an ankle Velcro ankle thing to just wrap and then keep everything snug while you're strengthening, while you're stretching, while you're working it out, so you don't create more soreness or more problems. We'll talk the best we can about it all. Again, in the comments, you can send me little thoughts. I'll get to them as soon as we can, or include them in the next video. This is intro 1. We will take you to more thorough, deeper thoughts on it all. And please look for our food videos, learning to cook, and learning to take care of yourself in so many directions. This is just the beginning. Take care.
Nettxus rodra jive, Nettxagrana netre, Nettxavyoma bhumi, Nettxona vayu, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Nettxaprana sagno, Navapanchavayu, Navasaptadatu, Navapanchakosha, Nawakpanipadam, Nettxapastapayu, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Namedveshanago, Namelobamo, Madone Vamene Vamatsarya Bhava, Natharmo Nacharto, Nakamo Namoksha, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Na punyam, na papam, na sakyam, na dukkam, na mantro, na tirtam, na meda, na yagna, aham bhojanam neva bhojam, na bhokta, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Namrotyur na shanka, namejati beda, Pitane Vamene Vamatana Janma, Nabandhur Namitram Gurune Rashishya, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, Chidananda rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, aham nirvikalpo, nirakara rupo, vibhurvyapya sarvatra sarvendriyani, Sadamme samadva namuktir nabanda Chidananda rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidananda